I learned to dream by tracing the air where your name might be, not spoken but felt, like warmth cupped in cold hands or sunlight slipping through cathedral glass. It wasn't the sound of you I loved first, it was the shape of your name on my tongue, unspoken, known only in silence. I found it in the pause between laughter and breath, in the hush of stars just before they blinked into morning. The way it carved space into meaning, like a river learns the land, and the land bends back in surrender. I didn't know I was writing love poems until every line bent itself toward you. The words found their own gravity, circling the syllables that sound like you. I walked cities and still, in each alley or echoed corridor, your name followed, tall and quiet, familiar and strange. Sometimes I think the wind is just your name trying to find its voice. Sometimes I think you were born not as a person but as a question, and every time I say your name I'm asking the world how something so soft can live so loudly in me. There is music where your name should be, even in crowded places, subways, hallways, street corners buzzing with people and life. I hear it like a secret refrain. It's not always the same melody, sometimes it's a slow piano key, sometimes a heartbeat too heavy for its chest. But it always ends with your name, echoed, whispered, unfolding like a promise. If I ever forgot how to feel, I'd spell your name in smoke or water or dust. I'd let the vowels hum through me like wind through hollow trees. Your name isn't static, it moves through me like a language older than sound, the way fire forgets it's dangerous when it dances. I've tried not to think of you, and ended up thinking of you more. I've tried writing of anything else, and yet every metaphor leads me back. Even the moon, even the sea, everything reflects you. I don't know how you did it, how you became the metaphor and the meaning both. There are whole cities inside your name, whole storms waiting to be weathered. I'd live in them all, I already do. I once thought love was a lightning strike, sudden, bright and over. But then came your name, and I understood love is less about thunder and more about echoes. It's how I feel you even when you're not there, how your name lingers in the room after the lights go out. It's the way it drifts in my breath when I'm half asleep, the way it burns in the middle of my silence. When I say your name, it's a spell, a surrender, a truth I can't unspeak. It doesn't matter if you're near, your name carries its own nearness like a shadow that only falls when the light is just right. I've known people who say love is just a chemical, a phase. But if that were true, why does your name feel like architecture, like foundation, like sky? It doesn't come and go, it stays planted deep in the corners of me I haven't mapped yet. I think the stars are jealous, they glitter for eternity, and still don't know what it's like to be whispered with meaning. They don't know what it is to be the shape of your name. Your name is a door I keep walking through, over and over. Every syllable is a key, unlocking something I didn't know was closed. I say it and light pours in, sometimes soft, sometimes blinding. Sometimes it rains, and your name is the shelter I run toward, the reason I believe in dry land after storms. I wonder if I wrote it enough times, would it start to look like my own? Would it change its shape for me the way I've changed mine for it? I don't think you realize how much you live inside my sentences, how many of them rise from the quiet ache you left behind. Your name has gravity. When I speak it, the world tilts slightly in your direction. I don't even try to resist anymore. I let the tide pull me. I let the sound of you carry me downstream. Sometimes I forget where I end, and your name begins. It's stitched into the fabric of who I am now. And even if I never see you again, I'll still whisper it. In the dark, in the quiet, in the forever that followed after. I never imagined letters could feel this alive. That your name, just a shape, just a sound, could cut through silence like fire through frost. And still it's not fire that burns when I say it. It's warmth, it's home. You were never just someone I met. You were the moment the world tilted, the first inhale after being underwater too long. Saying your name is how I remind myself that not all good things disappear. Even if you did, I don't resent the leaving, not really. How could I hate something that still blooms inside me like this? Your name is a garden that refuses to wither. Even now it grows wild through my chest. I've tried to uproot it, to speak of other things, but nothing quite takes root like you did. You're still the beginning of every thought I try to finish. You are still the poem I never meant to write, the line that keeps rewriting itself every time I speak. And all I can do is follow. All I can do is trace the shape of your name, again and again, like it's the only map I trust. I carry your name like a talisman, not because it keeps me safe, but because it reminds me what it means to feel unguarded, vulnerable, real. Your name is the only word I say without armor. I let it fall from my lips like a prayer, knowing it might go unanswered. But even in that, there is a kind of peace. You taught me that love doesn't always arrive with certainty. Sometimes it arrives quietly, gently, like your name did. And still it changed everything. I look at the spaces in my life and see where your name carved itself into the silence. A mark I never want removed. A tattoo in the language of longing. You're not just a person, you are an experience. A season that never quite ends. Every time I think I've let go, I hear your name again and realize I'm still holding on, in the smallest ways, in the spaces between breaths, in the echo of footsteps on familiar streets. Even now when I write, it's with your name hovering just out of frame, not gone, just waiting to be remembered. There is a weight to your name, but I carry it gladly. It's the ache I've chosen, the gravity I welcome. I've tried to find other names to soften the sound of your absence, but none of them hold the same resonance. None of them shimmer like you do. Yours is the name I write in the fog of windows. Yours is the one I mutter when I'm too tired to dream. Even when I'm surrounded by other voices, yours is the one I hear first. Clear, steady, undeniable. You are the echo that refuses to fade. I used to think time would smooth the edges, dull the sharpness, but even now your name cuts clean through my distractions. It insists on being felt, being known, being held. Sometimes I think if I say it enough you'll come back. Other times I say it just to remind myself that you were real, that something like you once existed in my world. And maybe that's enough. Maybe all love is meant to become memory eventually. But if so, let mine be the kind that keeps saying your name like a heartbeat, like home. There are days I think I've forgotten you, days when your name doesn't immediately rise to my lips, but then a song plays, or a scent drifts by, and suddenly you're everywhere. Not just in the sound, but in the feeling. Your name isn't a word anymore. It's a doorway, a flood, a sky cracking open. It's the way I remember who I was when I loved you, and who I still am, somewhere under the layers. The truth is I don't want to forget, even if it hurts, even if your name tastes like goodbye now. I'd rather feel the ache of remembering than the emptiness of forgetting. Your name reminds me I was brave once, that I opened my heart and let something wild and beautiful in. That's what you are to me, still wild and beautiful, and just out of reach. But your name remains, faithful as a shadow. Sometimes I whisper it to myself like a lullaby, hoping it'll quiet the parts of me that still long. Other times I shout it into the sky, because I want the world to know I once loved like this. There is something sacred in the way your name lives inside me, not like a wound, but like a song I hum without realizing. I've memorized the curve of your letters, the syllables like footsteps I can still hear echoing down the hallway of memory. I don't flinch anymore when I think of you. I just listen. I listen to the way your name stirs the silence, the way it asks nothing and everything at once. It holds my past and my possibility. It is the before and the after.